In this video, I want us to dive deep to one of the leading causes of premature death, disability, and a major risk factor of cardiovascular diseases. The doctors call it the silent killer because it often has no noticeable symptoms over the longest period of time. I am talking about hypertension. According to studies, only about 54% of adults with hypertension get diagnosed. Only 42 receive treatment, and only a mere 21% actually have their hypertension controlled. Globally, hypertension affects over 1 billion of people. That is why in this video, I want to share with you 10 and natural ways to lower your blood pressure without medication and always get you into your normal blood pressure levels. Hi, I am Favor. I'm a certified nutritionist. Please kindly subscribe, but more importantly, kindly wait to my last tip as it contains something doctors don't tell you, but I have seen it over a period of time as a professional working for my clients. But before that, I want us to understand how blood works inside your body. Your heart acts as a central pump for blood inside your body. It receives blood without oxygen, cleanses the blood and adds oxygen and sends it back to the body. Anytime your heart pumps blood, it exerts pressure on your artery walls, and that pressure is what we call the blood pressure. When your heart beats to pump blood, the pressure it exerts on your artery walls is actually the systolic blood pressure, which is actually the upper highest figure you see. When your heart relaxes to receive blood in between beats, the pressure it exerts on your artery walls is called the diastolic pressure, and that is actually the lower, smaller figure you see. Now, blood pressure is actually measured in millimeters of mercury. A blood pressure of 130 over 80 millimeters of mercury and above is considered hypertension. We should be considering a blood pressure between the ranges of 90 over 60 millimeters of mercury and less than 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury. How can we then do this without medication? You should know that diet plays a major role in the management of blood pressure. And one particular diet has been proven to help reduce blood pressure naturally, and that is the DASH diet. Dietary approaches to stop hypertension. This diet actually focuses on a balanced diet as well as a nutrient-rich diet by emphasizing on eating more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, while limiting your sodium, saturated fat, and red meat. For the longest period of time, the DASH diet has been known to help reduce your blood pressure by 5 points. More specifically, 5 over 3 millimeters of mercury of your blood pressure. One key principle of the DASH diet is a low sodium diet. One known way to actually increase your blood pressure is through your salt intake. The DASH diet actually recommends a meal plan where sodium is actually reduced to a range of 1,500 milligrams to 2,300 milligrams per a day. Now, this might not make sense to you, so I want you to reach out to a teaspoon in your home. Now, a full of this teaspoon will give you about 2,000 milligrams of salt. So if you really want to learn to control your salt level, this teaspoon can actually serve you right. But one of the biggest mistakes most of my clients do when they are focusing on a low sodium diet is only focusing on home cooked foods. That is such a huge mistake because most issues with sodium intake might not necessarily be from the home, but actually the foods you get outside. Foods from the grocery store or foods that you reach out to when you go to the restaurants. They contain high amounts of sodium, and most people are not good at reading their food labels, so they end up taking these packed foods and processed foods without not knowing the amount of sodium they are getting inside their body. Adults that actually focus on the DASH diet while not altering their sodium intake, following the recommended daily value for weeks, have their blood pressure being lowered to normal. The DASH diet also helps you to focus more on eating fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables can help boost your potassium intake. Potassium actually acts like an antidote to sodium. Sodium contracts your blood vessels, but potassium does the otherwise. It dilates your blood vessels. Sodium retains water in your blood, making the volume of your blood so much that it exerts pressure on your arterial walls. Potassium gets rid of excess fluid that is supposed to be retained in the blood, which actually the blood doesn't need. Aside from that, potassium also gets rid of excess sodium in your body, most importantly in your kidneys, through urine. So if you want to increase your potassium intake, you should focus more on fruits and vegetables. And do you know fruits that are rich in potassium? I just want to give you some examples of them. You can consider some bananas, some raisins, some prunes, some leafy green vegetables, sweet potatoes, and many more others. The DASH diet is not enough if not accompanied with some lifestyle changes like regular exercise. Now, exercises including aerobic exercise like walking, jogging, strength training exercises, as well as isometric exercises that include wall squats and planks, have been proven to be effective in the reducing of your blood pressure. Not everybody is actually a gym person. If you're one of such people, I always recommend to my clients that a 10 minutes brisk walking in their own house compound can play significantly in lowering their blood pressure. Now, I would recommend for more effectiveness that 10 minutes is just not enough, but 10 minutes episodically 3 times in a day can really contribute to the impact of lowering your blood pressure. Now, it's not about the intensity, about how vigorous this exercise is, but also about the consistency of the same exercise over a period of time. According to studies, exercising like 3 to 4 times in a week over a period of 3 months has such a significant impact on your blood pressure. Aside from exercising, weight loss will actually be the next option. Now, if you consistently exercise and follow the DASH diet, it is easy for you to actually lose weight. Excess weight puts pressure on the heart, which leads to an increase in your blood pressure. If you actually lose 1 kilogram of your weight, it has been proven to make you lose your blood pressure by 1 point. Now, specifically, this might be more effective for people that are overweight and obese. If you've definitely heard of nicotine, then you know that we are talking about smoking. One of the easiest ways to actually contract your blood vessels and make it very difficult for blood to pass through it, increasing your blood pressure, is by the substance called nicotine. Nicotine is definitely found in cigarettes. One of the easiest ways you can reduce your blood pressure is by saying no to smoking. And also alcohol. Limiting your alcohol intake to about 2 drinks per a day if you're a man is better, and if you're actually a woman, limiting it to 1 drink per a day is better. But then the best is to actually stop taking in alcohol. The next on my list is learning to sleep very well. Now, I can't actually go through the ranges of how people are supposed to sleep, but then I actually have a good illustration on the screen just to show you the amount of hours you can sleep within your age range. Learn to manage your stress properly. In this generation, stress is one of the most difficult things people can't do away with. But the problem is not about the stress as much as how you can manage your stress. When you are chronically stressed out, your body is in a constant flight or fight mode. And that means physically, your heart rate can be very high, as well as you can have a constricted blood vessels, which can actually increase your blood pressure. Now, the issue about stress is not about the particular stress, but how we can manage the stress. Simple exercises like meditation, sleeping very well, regular exercises, drinking a good amount of water can help reduce stress. Also, making sure you are having fun and not just working throughout the day. Know when to actually have a break time and know when to actually be very serious with your work. It's just how you manage a very balanced life. I recommend you get involved in religious activities. I don't know much about you, but believing in God has some significant impact on lowering your blood pressure. There was a study that was made to know the relationship between religious activities and lower blood pressure among older adults. Now, after these studies, one of the things they concluded on is religiously active older adults tend to lower blood pressure than those who are less active. This applies to attendance at religious services and private religious activities. It has been proven that attending religious activities can help lower your blood pressure. Not only that, I always tell my clients, because I have had amazing clients that had it right with all the points I have said, but still had their blood pressure going up. After some counseling sessions, I noticed that what I always observe is what I have called the worry issue. Anytime you tend to worry, anytime you tend to think too much over a particular problem, it becomes one of the easiest way your blood pressure can increase. So I always tell them that cast all your cares on God and He will care for you. And trust me, some of them came back to thank me just by that little advice. I hope you really enjoyed all the tips I gave in this video. If you enjoyed this, I kindly ask you to go ahead and join the community, subscribe, share to someone who this can be of help to. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much.